Welcome back to Super Recaps. Today, we will discuss a 2010 South Korean comedy drama movie called Hello Ghost. Watch out for spoilers ahead. This film is about an orphan Sangman who, instead of ending his life, gains the power to see ghosts. Sangman is an orphan who is incredibly lonely and depressed. The movie begins with him trying to end his life by swallowing many pills. The water container is empty, so he passes out after drinking some tap water, but soon, his landlord enters the room and forces Sangman to spit out the pills to save him. However, Sangman keeps on trying. He even attempts to jump from a bridge and into the river but is quickly rescued by the police. Sangman awakens in a hospital bed when a smoking man appears on his bed. Sangman tells the man that they are not allowed to smoke here, but the man appears to be invisible to the nurse. After that, Sangman is taken to the psychiatrist, where he comes across a crying woman. He is then returned to his room, accompanied by his two new friends. Sangman wakes up in the middle of the night and notices an older man at the reception. The three friends start staring at Sangman, making him run back to his room. But when he gets back, his friends are already there, floating in the air. This makes Sangman realize that he can now see ghosts due to his near-death experience. The ghosts inform Sangman that they will be sharing his body and taking over from time to time, causing Sangman to faint. The next day, Sangman notices a child jumping on the bed, and because the doctors can't see him, Sangman realizes the child is also a ghost. To escape this haunting, Sangman asks for help from a shaman who informs him that to make them vanish, he must grant the ghosts' wishes. He then returns to his apartment, telling the ghosts that he will help them fulfill their wishes so that they'll leave him alone. The older ghost takes initiative, stating that his wish is to find a specific camera. So the following day, Sangman and the ghost try to search for the camera in the town, but they are unsuccessful. The ghost then advises him to go to the man who has the camera. The frustrated Sangman questions the ghost about why he didn't say something before they wasted so much time, and the ghost responds that they can only reply when asked. They then find the man with the camera, a police officer of a higher rank. They try several methods, but the cops ignore him. Sangman is then arrested and taken to the police station for blocking a police operation. While in the cell, the elder ghost begins revealing the higher-ups' secrets through Sangman's body, which makes them finally hand over the camera. They then visit the hospital where the elder ghost calls and an old patient who clearly does not recognize Sangman. They then eat lunch together while chatting. A nurse, Yoon, passes by the table, effectively distracting Sangman, who starts staring at her. It was like falling in love at first sight. Taking notice of this, the elder ghost starts hitting on Yoon creepily and uncomfortably. They return, and Sangman chastises the elder ghost for using his body to flirt with Yoon. After seeing the returned camera, the old patient returns to his hospital bed and smiles broadly. The next day, Sangman decided to grant the kid ghost's wish. His wish is to see an animated film. They arrive at the theater and discover Yoon taking care of a young cancer patient named Jong. Sangman inquires if she enjoys animated films, to which she responds positively. Following the film, Kid Ghost expresses a desire to purchase a toy robot. He then notices Yoon and Jong again. They are planning to have black bean noodles. Sangman follows them to the restaurant and sits at the table next to them. The Kid Ghost starts devouring multiple bowls easily, causing Jong to start taking a liking to Sangman. However, Sangman starts throwing up in the bathroom after the possession is over. He then meets up with Yoon and Jong at a nearby game stall. Sangman decides to give it a try and manages to win the grand prize with the help of the Kid Ghost, getting a huge candy. At night, Sangman and the smoking ghost try to steal a car. The ghost wants to drive a car again. They break into a car yard at night but find a man guarding it. They agree that he'll let Sangman have a car if he can bring his wife back to him. Sangman follows the man's wife to the hospital the next day, overhearing her discussion with Yoon. Sangman goes to the stairway for a smoke, but Yoon shows up and advises him to stop smoking because the woman she was just talking to has lung cancer as a result of her husband's heavy smoking, and she's pregnant, so the medications will harm the baby. After that, Sangman goes back to the car yard and tells the man about his wife. His wife arrives shortly after, and the man apologizes while crying with his wife. The situation gets resolved and the smoking ghost finally gets to drive. He takes them to the beach. They sit down at the beach and have a heart-to-heart discussion. Sangman inquires about what it feels like to be married. The ghost responds, saying that while having more family members increases your hardships and burdens, they also give you the motivation to go on in life as they support you every step of the way. Sangman's outlook on life begins to shift. Although Sangman cannot swim, the smoking ghost possesses him and they go for a swim. The ghost tells him to remain calm, and they swim until the sun sets, while the other ghosts also relax on the beach. Sangman begins to enjoy his time with the ghosts and wishes they were real people. The following day, Sangman visits a DVD store to purchase some animation DVDs for Yoon. He drives back home with the smoking ghost. During the drive, the ghost decides to quit smoking and throws the cigarette out the window. However, they are stopped by a police car as a result of this. The policeman tells them to pull over and proceeds to ask for Sangman's license, but since he doesn't have one, he is taken to the police station. The cops advise him to contact a guardian or a family member, but Sangman does not have any. He thinks of Yoon and contacts her instead. While waiting for Yoon, Sangman begins talking to the ghost about how people die the most on holidays because they are lonely while everyone else is having a good time. His ambition is to work, marry, and raise a happy family, but he believes that would be impossible for an orphan like him. Yoon hears all of this, shocking Sangman. They then leave the police station in their car. Yoon explains to Sangman in the cab that everyone's situation is different. For example, Yoon herself wishes to flee her family, particularly her father. They eventually arrive at a parking lot where Sangman gifts her the box of animated movies. Yoon struggles with the heavy box, so the smoking ghost instructs Sangman to help her. He carries the box for her and Yoon gets on the bus, but Sangman stops the bus halfway and gets in the bus as well. After Yoon leaves, Sangman sits with the smoking ghost at the bus stop, laughing and chatting. It's finally time to fulfill the last wish of the crying ghost, who would like to prepare a meal for the other ghosts, Sangman and Yoon. To invite Yoon, they go to the hospital, but they run into her father, who blabbers about marriage and wishes he could see Yoon and Sangman together. Yoon becomes irritated, and in hopes of calming her down, Sangman tells her not to be disrespectful to her father. Yoon tells him to keep out of her business and leaves the room. Sangman goes back home, completely dejected and depressed. During the night, his doorbell rings, and he opens the door to find Yoon's father as a ghost. The father asks him to deliver a message to Yoon. After that, Sangman attends the father's funeral and speaks to Yoon. He tells her that he can see ghosts and her father came over to his house and apologized. Yoon and the old patient have a little chat the next morning. Yoon is then instructed by the old patient to give the camera back to Sangman. In the meantime, Sangman goes to the market with the crying ghost to buy ingredients for dinner. Once dinner is prepared, the doorbell rings again in the evening. Yoon has come to return the camera but notices the table full of food, clearly intended for a large group. Sangman then asks her to join him and she does. Sangman is happy to have dinner with a big family, but Yoon sees it as a date with just the two of them. Sangman is anxious and doesn't know what to say, but the ghosts help him by possessing him one by one and helping him talk to Yoon. Sangman smiles as he notices the ghosts assisting him. But then Yoon asks him who the real Sangman is because she believes he has multiple personalities. After a brief silence, Sangman informs Yoon that her father has left a gift for her at the location where they always meet. Yoon leaves to get the gift and Sangman begins questioning the ghosts about why they haven't left yet, despite the fact that they have their wishes fulfilled. The ghosts are gone the next morning. Yoon goes to the location her father indicated and finds a box of new shoes for her. She tears up as she realizes her father truly did care for her. Now, Sangman sits in the car, surrounded by toxic gas, planning to end his life again. However, memories of him and Yoon prevent him from giving up. He now wishes to live. Yoon comes back to the hospital, and Sangman greets her with an invitation to lunch. They eat outside on a bench while Yoon explains that the child cancer patient, Jong, forgot his parents before he died, as people can lose their memories after experiencing a major shock. She expresses regret for her behavior the night before. Sangman forgives her and tells her the ghosts have vanished. He also lets her know that he has tried to kill himself many times but something always saves him, and he becomes angry for failing to die. He says he tried to kill himself today as well, but thinking about her saved him. He realized he wanted to live with her. Yoon responds with a smile. They continue eating their lunch, including the kimbap from the last night. Yoon then questions him about why he uses parsley rather than spinach in the kimbap. Sangman responds, claiming that his mother told him it was good for him. That's when the memories began to flood back to him. It turns out that the ghosts he's been seeing have been his family members all along. The ghost's wishes are all of his deceased family members' wishes. His mother desired to cook the family dinner and accompany Sangman to the market. His brother wanted to go to the movies with him. His grandfather wanted to take a family picture and borrowed a neighbor's camera. And lastly, his father tried to take them all to a beach, but the family got in a tragic crash, leaving Sangman an orphan. Sangman returns home, pleading with the ghosts to come back. His family members appear before him one by one, giving him advice and support to make the best of his life. Sangman vows to live a happy life for the sake of his family now. They then take a family photo in the apartment, but only Sangman is visible. Finally, his family fulfills their promise by appearing in every picture with Sangman. When he was a kid, after graduating from university, when he married Yoon, and when they had their first baby. We also find out that when Sangman first tried to swallow the pills, his family emptied the water container, leaving him with nothing to drink in order to save him. This proves that his family has always been there for him and will continue to help him. Thanks for watching. Make sure to subscribe and press the bell icon to get new video updates.